Okay, so 4, 5, solving rational equations. And we just have examples. So we have 1 over 4 equals 1 over 4r minus 1 over 2. Okay, so we know, like if I gave you...
Is it supposed to be on the board?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
I was getting distracted, not gonna lie.
That's like mesmerizing.
I just didn't know if you
Okay,
had to put it
shh,
on.
guys, chill. There you go. Okay, so we know if I gave you something like A over B equals C over D, you could cross multiply, yes? Couldn't you?
Yes.
So the answer we do A, D equals B, C, and then we solve from there. Okay, we know we could do that. So I could do that here. I could also, couldn't I add? Like I could do it if I combine these two to one thing, correct? And I don't have it as one thing right now. I could add 1/2 over, couldn't I? Could I add 1/2 over?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple different things we could do. So do you guys want to do this approach? You want to add 1/2 over? Okay. So plus 1/2. So if I'm going to add 1/2, I have to have what? Common denominators. So I have 1/4 and 1/2. What is my common denominator? 4. So I'm going to change this 1/2 to 4. And what's in my numerator? 2. So I have 1 plus 2 is 3. So I have 3 over 4 equals 1 over 4r.
Wait, how'd you get...
I have 1 plus 2 is 3.
How'd you get 2 over 4? I know how you got 4, but not over
Okay, what do I multiply 2 by to get 4?
2.
So I have to multiply 1 by 2. 1 times 2 is?
2.
There you go. Okay, so now I'm here. I can cross multiply.
4.
So I have 3 times 4r equals 4 times 1. So 12r equals 4 and divide by 4. 12. How about 12, not 4? So r equals what?
3.
No.
What?
4 over 12 is not in 1/3.
Is that it?
Yep. We have r. That's what we needed.
How do you...
Or are they gonna get?
Where'd you get the 12 on the bottom?
Boy, look at the
Because 3 times 4 is 12.
And then you divide 12.
And then you divide 12 on both sides.
Oh, you did. Oh, I can't...
Okay. Now there is other methods of doing these. Let's do number 3 on your worksheet.
Is it okay if my work's all over on this?
Yeah. Because the first part would be notes, so.
I only read my answers on the worksheet.
Okay, so 3, you have x minus 2 over x equals 1 over 4 plus 1 over 2. Now, there's a couple different ways. When they're basic like this, I look at it and say, if I was getting common denominators between 2, 4, and x, this would be 2 times 2, correct? Yes?
Yeah.
So my common denominator would have to be 4x, wouldn't it? So if I multiplied every single thing by 4x,
That would be very complicated.
not really. Okay, so if I'm multiplying this by 4x, would my x here and here reduce? Here and here. And then I would just distribute the 4, wouldn't I? So I would get 4x minus 8. we're just doing notes, we're doing problems with these for notes. This is today's, and this is the next 2 days. Okay? So you have everything, what we don't do in notes today is your assignment for today. And then this is the next 2 days. Okay? Let me know if you need something. Okay, so on here, the next one, 1/4 times 4x, the 4's would reduce, wouldn't they?
Yep.
And what's 1 times x?
X.
X. Plus, well, 1/2 times 4x. The 2 and the 4 would reduce to 2x times 1 would be 2x. Look at that.
And then now it's just common algebra.
And then now it's just regular algebra. X and 2x is
3x.
3x. How about, I would subtract the 3 personally and add 8.
Because then that's just equal to 8.
So x equals 8. Now I want to show you something. We did that, right? But we started off with x minus 2. You don't have to write this down. You can just watch. And 1/4 plus 1/2, correct?
How'd you get just 8?
Well, because I subtracted the x and added the 8.
So when it be 1. Oh, I'm done.
No, you're not. Okay, another way I could have done it was the same way as I did up here. I could have combined 1/4 and 1/2. So 1/2 is 2/4, correct? Correct? Is 1/2 equivalent to 2/4? Yes. Okay, so 1 plus 2 is 3. So you have 3/4. Cross multiply gives me 4x minus 8 equals 3x minus 3 plus 8. X is what? 8. This only worked this smoothly because both of these could be combined right away, correct? Okay. So there are different ways to do this. The first problem, we had to get we did common denominators, combined them, then cross multiplied. This way we just kind of got the common denominator with the whole thing, didn't we? And this way we combined one side. So there are different ways to do these problems. Whichever way that works for you and you're efficient at, do it.
Can we do 7?
Sure.
I think we do 13.
Okay, so 7, write it down.
This thing's gonna be long.
Well, first of all, I hope yesterday you learned on these. You can't look at the whole problem at one time, can you? You have to look at it in pieces.
I don't like doing that though.
Well, I'm sorry.
I know.
If you look at it all at once, you're going to get overwhelmed and say, I can't do it.
I already
If you,
am over.
okay, but Carly, that's because you look at it all one thing. So, just, you need to change your brain from I can't to I can. It takes work. You can with work, and that's all I want to hear. I do not ever want to hear I can't again from you. I don't.
You're gonna hear.
Okay, so
I can't.
the first thing I should do with each of these denominators and numerators is what?
They're going in.
No, factor. I should factor because if I could factor, could I possibly reduce?
Possibly.
Possibly. We have been doing problems like this for a long time now, right? And what was the first thing we did? We factored, correct? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do they have the same denominator already? Okay, so do you want to combine them?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a negative. So what do I have to do with it?
Make the top negative.
Make the top negative. So this is going to be negative n minus 3. Minuses go up and down now. And then I'm going to have n plus 2, right? All over, but let's factor it. So I have factors of 7 that add to 8.
Thinking.
7 and 1.
7 and 1. So n plus 7 and n plus 1 equals 1 over n plus 7. Yes? Well, I have n minus n, so that's what?
N.
0.
0. And I have positive 2 and negative 3,
Negative 1.
negative 1. And I don't want to rewrite the whole thing, I'm just writing negative 1. So do you want to cross multiply? You want to multiply all by one thing? What do you want to do?
Set cross multiply.
Cross multiply. So I'm going to have negative n plus 7.
Whoa, I thought you would take n times 2.
No,
7 times
2 and negative 3 is negative 1.
What? I'm confused.
Okay, Carly, I had positive 2 and negative 3.
Yeah, I got
Isn't that negative 1?
Yes, but you just put a positive 7.
I have n plus 7 here. I'm going to cross multiply.
To what? When
To negative,
1 then?
negative 1 times n plus 7.
Just go on. I'm confused.
Carly, I need to know where you're confused because I have negative 1 right here.
You think
And I
got confused like 5 minutes ago.
1 times this denominator is just n plus 7, n plus 1. Now, you guys see 2n plus 1s, or n plus 7s on both sides, right? So could I divide out an n plus 7?
You know?
It doesn't really matter which side you say it's coming from. It's all going to divide out, yes?
What about the negative?
No, well, just watch. Both of these come out to what? 1. So it becomes what? Negative 1. Equals what? N plus 1?
That don't work.
What doesn't work? Minus 1. N equals what?
Oh, it does work.
It
Thanks.
doesn't work.
Oh.
Wait,
I can't.
wait.
Go to
I just want
13.
to ask a question. Okay.
Is this actually like work or like are we trying to figure out something?
Wait.
We're solving for N.
Miss
Please,
Smith.
please.
What, Blaine?
So did you add 1 over, or, oh, no, you subtracted the 1
Come on,
over,
Willie.
okay.
I subtracted the 1 over, yes.
Okay.
Can we do all
I
the
was
long
looking
ones
at it
together?
wrong.
No, we're not doing all the long ones together. That doesn't teach you anything.
What?
Okay,
Let me
13.
finish
I
writing
do 13.
that down. It was the dumbest question out of everyone in
You're dumber than me.
here.
That's hard to do.
okay, 9. Not 9, 11 is what I wanted.
13.
Just stop. I won't be doing any. You just want 13 because you think it's hard. It's actually easier than one we just did.
Okay, it's not that hard.
13 shut up. Just do one on the board first.
Okay. What is the first thing I should do? Factor. And I usually just write it right underneath. So this is 2x minus 7, yes? And this is 2x minus 7. I am going to multiply everything has an x minus 7, yes? The only thing they're missing is a what? 2. I am going to multiply every single thing on here by 2x minus 7. Now, please follow. If you cannot write and follow at the same time, don't write. Go back and watch the video. Okay, when I multiply 2x minus 7 times 6 over x minus 7, the x minus 7's reduce, correct? And 2, they reduce. They do not cancel. They reduce to 1. 2 times 6 is 12.
God.
I
was
thought
adding.
I was
Okay,
slow.
so 2,
Cart.
shush, please. 2 times x minus 7 times the next fraction. The 2x minus 7, 2x minus 7 reduce out, correct?
Yeah.
And I'm left with x plus 2.
Move the 2 over.
I'm not done.
Wait,
I have one more fraction. And the denominator is 2x minus 7 times 2x minus 7. They reduce out, and I'm left with what? 1. Now, what would I do?
Combine my terms.
So I have 12 equals x plus 3 minus 3. X is 9. You need to stop avoiding this method, because if you would have used this method over here, it would have been a lot easier. You see how it would have been a lot easier? What we're doing here is getting those common denominators and clearing those fractions immediately, so then I don't have a problem with fractions anymore, do I? Doesn't mean I'm not going to get a fraction when I'm done, but it means I don't have to work with it by cross multiplying and everything else, do I? So, write 13 down.
Is it okay if I have X's and like their letters on my homework? Because like.
If it is a K, it needs to be a K. If it's an X, it needs to be an X. If it's a P, it needs to be a P.
On my work, it's not like that, but
Okay. I'm going to factor out a 2 before I write this down, because I just don't want to write down 13 million steps. Do y'all see that you can do a 2?
because you did an X, so then I got confused.
It is an X on 13.
On number 9 that we just did.
That was 11 we just did.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, by factoring out a 2 and a 4, did it make what I had more manageable? Yeah. So, first step is to do what now? Factor. So, factors of 42 that add to 13?
7 and 6.
7 and 6.
Whoa, I'm confused.
Can you please ask a question rather than just saying I'm confused? Because I can't answer, I'm confused.
I don't even have that same problem.
Okay, I told you I was factoring out a 2 as I was writing it down. Because the problem is 2x squared plus 26x plus 84.
Stress me out.
Okay, then I have 4. I already factored out a 4 on the next group. Did you guys already factor out that 4?
Yeah.
Okay. I factored out the 4 on the next one because I saw all of them. I saw 4, 52, and 168. So I factored out a 4. So now I need the factors of 42 that add to 13 again.
6.
4. Now you will get some with not a leading coefficient of 1, but right now they are. So this is why you have been, the questions have been, what are the least common multiple? What is the least common denominator? This is why they've been asking them, because it makes your world easier, okay? So what am I going to multiply every single thing by?
4x plus 7.
And x plus 6. You have to include everything that's down here.
What about like the 2 though from,
Okay, but isn't 2 into 4?
yeah.
Okay, so it's covered. Okay, so when I take 2, x plus 6, x plus 7 times this, like I can reduce, right? So the x plus 7 reduces, the x plus 6 reduces, but 2 goes into 4 how many times? 2. And 2 times 1 is what? 2. Look how that made that so much easier, didn't it? Okay, so when I take the next one, what reduces?
4x plus 7.
4x plus 7, and I'm left with
X plus 6.
I'm left with 1 times x plus 6. And if it was anything other than 1, I would distribute it, correct? So I have x plus 6. Now this is a negative 5, correct? Because of that negative? So don't forget that. So what reduces on the next one? The whole bottom, so it leaves me with 1 times negative 5 is what? So, was 13 that bad?
No.
No. The key is to do what before you start? Factor.
Don't we have to finish the problem?
Yes, but hopefully from here you could finish it.
I could not, telling you the truth.
We don't. I sort of forgot how to do this.
So on the test, guys, actually, I think every single problem you're going to have to factor. Okay, there's 24 questions on the test. And every single one you're going to have to factor at least once, not multiple times. So do you need to be up on your factoring?
Yes.
Yes. My choice is to make it a 12-question test, and then what does that do to your points that are available? Way down, right? Okay, so let's do, I think 14's pretty,
I think the rest-
15. Is there anything else that you look?
No.
21.
21? Okay.
Carly.
No, that's fine. Okay, when we're writing this down, we are going to do something. Carly, focus on me and not Kyson, please. Okay, so 21. I am not going to write 4k minus 4. What am I going to write?
You're gonna
K
two,
minus 4.
I'm going to write 4k
then
minus 1. How did I get 4k minus 1?
get out of the one.
I factored out of 4 over k squared plus, you guys want to write this whole thing or you want to factor it while we write it down? Factor. Okay, so factors of 6 that add to 5.
6 and negative 1.
So negative, nope, they have to add. So negative 2 and negative 3. Be careful of that, Jaden. I'm good for that too. We're adding, not subtracting because it's a positive 6. I do that too. So just be careful. And then equals what? 4? So what am I going to multiply every single thing by?
K squared.
K squared. And you can write k squared next to everything if you want. I just write it out to the side. So when I take my first rational expression times k squared, I'm just left with the what?
The 4.
The 4. Okay? So we were probably going to want it 4k minus 4. I was hoping we could reduce something, but we weren't able to, were we? You get what I'm saying? We were not able to reduce anything, were we?
So you
No.
went back to
So
the-
I put it back because I'm going to have to combine like terms, aren't I? Yep. Okay, the next one, am I going to reduce anything up and down? No. But the k squared and the k squared are going to reduce, so I'm going to revert back to the original, which was what?
K
K
minus
squared minus 5k plus 6.
Plus k squared minus 5k plus 6. Now, if that was a negative, what would I do with the negative? I would distribute it across the whole thing, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I have 4 times k squared equals what?
4k squared.
4k squared. So this is going to be a quadratic, isn't it? And we'll do some steps. Okay, so I got what? Negative k?
Yeah.
K squared? K squared minus k plus 2 equals 4k squared. It's quadratic. I have to set it equal to what?
0.
0. So I'm going to move everything over there, correct? Because I want a positive k squared. So I get 3k squared plus k minus 2. You guys check me out. Is that what you get?
Wait, I don't even know what you did.
I moved everything. Where?
Over.
Combined all the like terms and moved them over.
I moved it over. So I subtracted k squared, added k, and subtracted 2. Now, as we progress, guys, you notice I'm putting less and less steps on my paper, right? I'm not putting those basic Algebra 1 steps because we should be able to be doing them in our head. Because that's how we get to the upper math when we can do the basic stuff by just doing it because we know that happens. So now I need to factor, yes? 3 times 2 is...
There's-
Actually, I'm going to let you guys. Negative 6, factors of negative 6 that have a difference of 1. So you guys factor it.
You can't just keep it like this.
No, you're solving for k. So you guys factor and solve it like you know how to do. Did you get 3k minus 2 and k plus 1? Okay. So now I set them both equal to 0. Yes? Like we've done. And I get k equals negative 1 and 2/3. Did we get it right? Yep. So again, we factored hoping we could reduce, right? Were we able to reduce? No. So we just went right back to where it was. Because some of them you may be able to factor and just reduce in its own little fraction before you find a common denominator. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yes?
Yep.
Okay, is there one more you want to do? Because we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
17.
Yeah, 17 does kind of look interesting.
Okay, how about you try it? You start it. It's going to be kind of a mutual. Does that make sense? Oh, so. I'm going to tell you guys, you can make these really hard or you can make them really easy.
How do I make them easy?
You look ahead and follow patterns that we've had before. And don't treat every problem like it's a brand new thing. Most problems are mimics of the problems before it.
I try to go back and follow my other example, but it just goes whack. So, I have a question for like the plus 12 underneath. Would you have to line that up with the negative 48?
Yeah, you can. I just wrote it there. But yeah, the 12 and the 48 would be combined. I just wrote it there. I don't know why I actually did. I just did. Do you guys know why I didn't factor the numerator?
Why?
Because was anything going to reduce? Was anything going to reduce? Can I factor out just an m of this numerator? No. So there was no point of factoring it, was there? No. Over here, was I going to be able to factor out a 2 or just reduce a 2? No. Was I going to be able to reduce an m? No, because there's not an m in everything. So there's no point to factor it. There's no point. Now, if you did it differently, are you still getting the same answer? Okay, that's the point. You don't have to do it the same way I did. You don't have to. You could have multiplied this by 2m, got like terms, and then cross multiplied. Couldn't you have?
So is number 2 like 3? Almost.
They're all the same. They're all the same. What's the only thing that changes, guys? The numbers. Did we follow, once I convinced you to multiply by this common denominator, did we do every single problem the same?
Yeah.
Yes. Does it make it much easier to find that common denominator and use it? Yes. I can do this about these problems about 4 ways, and this is the way I would choose to do it almost every single time. Unless I knew a bunch of numbers were going to reduce and everything. So you guys now have 19 questions, right?